Damn it, I just noticed that the graphics are missing. Oh, well, what are you going to do? Hey, guys, how's it going? Good afternoon to people on the Midwest and on the East Coast. Good morning to people on the West Coast. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone else around the world. Sorry about that intro. Usually I have the little graphics that show like which tier you're in and whatever, but I was kind of editing real quick just to make sure I had all the names in there today. And I guess I forgot to edit that part in, so I'll have to fix that for Monday. But anyway, how's it going, everybody? Welcome to hashtag TNT JoeFi, tech news that Jerome Ortega finds interesting. We spend the hour here talking about tech. I mean, what else do you expect? Engaging with the community and just seeing what's up, saying what's up, and kind of going through the motions of what's new and what's happening for the day. So I see Y 2019 in here. Hey, Y, how's it going, man? How you doing? Glad to have you on the show. Say my name. Yeah, I can say your name. No problem. Rohan Parahar. Am I saying that right, Rohan? How's it going, man? I don't think I've seen you on the stream before. Yeah. Is that all you wanted? You wanted to come in here so I say your name? I don't have a problem saying your name. How's it going, man? Glad to have you, though. Appreciate you stopping by. So today we are going to yes, I'm new. That's cool, man. Glad to have you. Hopefully you find it entertaining or informative. Feel free to talk about whatever. And basically what I do with me here and the rest of the community is just talk about what new stuff is going on. Today's kind of a slower tech day today, though. There's not a lot going on, but we might as well get started. So the first story that I have here is from AnandTech, and it's about Meizu. Am I saying that right? I don't know if Meizu is the way it's pronounced, but Meizu is announcing their new Meizu 17 and 17 Pro flagships. The one thing that kind of struck me with this particular phone is how cheap it is. especially for a phone that has a Snapdragon 865. So let's kind of just read through the story and I'll give you my thoughts along the way. So today, Meizu announced its 2020 flagship follow-up to the popular Meizu 16s. The new Meizu 17 and 17 Pro. The two new phones represent a design shift for the company as it moves to a new industrial design that's a bit more unique. The new flagship phones are powered by the new Snapdragon 865 SoC and house Sony's latest IMX686 64 megapixel 1 over 1.72 inch main camera sensor. So the IMX686, isn't that Sony's newest sensor? I think it is. Unless there's an IMX689. I think it's a 686. I can't remember. Anyway, Meizu is releasing two devices this year. Both have the same form factor with a 6.6 inch 90 hertz OLED screen, so a pretty big display, but they differ in their other cameras and some other internal specifications, making for a slight price segmentation between the two units. So let's kind of just take a look. The Meizu 17 Pro is a little heavier. Okay, so the one difference here is the Pro version has, you can get it with 12 gigs of RAM, and it has LPDDR5 RAM as opposed to LPDDR4, LPDDR4X. So that's a big difference, especially the fact that you can get it with LPDDR5. It does use UFS 3.1. And it's nice because the minimum storage is 128 and you can get it up. I mean, these are pretty high end specs. So 256 gigs UFS 3.1 internal storage. You could get it with 12 gigs of LPDDR5 RAM, 4500 milliamp hour battery, 30 watt fast charging. Okay, so the Meizu 17 doesn't have wireless. The Meizu 17 Pro has 27 watt fast. This is very reminiscent of what OnePlus is offering on their phones. Their front camera is a 20 megapixel with a f2.0 aperture, and then the rear is a 64 megapixel main shooter, IMX686, f1.8 aperture, and then a telephoto on the Pro. Okay, they both have ultra wides. Okay, let's kind of just read into the kind of how they're breaking it down. So it is a Snapdragon 865, and look at these prices. So a Meizu 17 you can get with 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage for $522, and then their Pro version $600. And then if you want the 12 gigs of RAM, look at that, 12 gigs of RAM. 256 gigs of internal storage for $663. Think about that. When you can get when a OnePlus 8 is selling for $699 US in the States, this is giving you so much more. Wow. Jesus. Okay, both phones are powered by the new Snap 865 chipset by Qualcomm, offering top-of-the-line flagship performance. The two devices are 5G enabled and come with support with relevant sub-6 gigahertz band support in their respective launch markets, starting with today's China launch. Meizu uses 128 or 256 gigs of UFS 3.1, while on the DRAM side, the Meizu 17 comes with 8 gigs of LPDDR4X. We talked about this already. The 17 Pro, 8 gigs or 12 gigs of LPDDR5, making Meizu as one of the rarer vendors who make use of the chipset's hybrid memory controller. The phone is actually quite large and a significant upsizing from past flagships. Okay, so it's a lot bigger this year or this time around for their successor. 6.6 inch AMOLED display from Samsung. So it's a FHD display, 1080p, a 19.5 by 9 aspect ratio, and it supports 90 hertz refresh rate. So it doesn't have the higher end 120 hertz that some of these bigger phone makers are making. But I would rather pay $650 for a 90 hertz display if I'm going to get 12 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of internal storage. I'd rather have that than 120 hertz, to be honest with you. The front camera module is not only that, but 120 hertz and paying $900 for what? Yeah. Anyway, the front camera module is, I'm talking about OnePlus here. I keep diverting. The front camera module is a 20 megapixel unit with f2.0 aperture optics and is a display hole cut out design. The speciality here is that the cutout radius is only 2.99 millimeters, which, if we're not mistaken, is the smallest radius of its kind to date in a smartphone. So that's good to know, at least. Both variants feature the same 4,500 milliamp hour battery capacity. The 17 Pro is heavier at 217 versus 199 grams because of the inclusion of different internal hardware. The one thing that is outright omitted from the regular version is wireless charging. Whilst the Pro version supports 27 watt fast wireless charging on top of the 30 watt wire charging for both units. This is kind of a crazy design to just see all of those sensors or camera lenses on there. Both phones share the same main camera sensor, which is a 64 megapixel IMX686, the successor to the widely popular IMX586 last year. Okay, so we'll go over some of this later. We don't need to read every single tech thing in there. So an ultra wide macro shot. The ultra wide angle on the 17 Pro is extremely interesting as it's a 32 megapixel IMX616, a very rare configuration. For some reason, Meizu describes this as a 129 degree field of view module, even though the focal length is only 15 millimeters equivalent, narrower than some other devices we've seen out there. So the specs here are a bit conflicting. There's f2.2 optics on the unit. The speciality here is that Meizu dropped the macro module in favor of a 3D time of flight sensor, as the ultra wide angle unit has an autofocus mechanism that allows it to focus as closely as 3 centimeters and act both as an ultra wide as well as a macro unit. So tech specs aside, the proof is really on how those camera samples really look, but I think what's really getting to me here is the fact that they're so cheap. The Meizu 17 is available as 8 gigs of RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, or 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage configurations for $522 and $564. That's a significant decrease than what a OnePlus 8 gives you. While the Meizu 17 Pro comes in at either 8 gigs, and that's DDR5 RAM, 128 gigs of internal storage, or 12 gigs DDR5 RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage at $606 or $663. Compare that to the $900 on the OnePlus 8 Pro, and what's the higher end of the OnePlus 8 Pro? Is it $1,000? Is it $999 or is it more than that? Anyway, either way, that's like what is that? A $250, $275 difference, with pre-orders in China starting today and availability starting Monday the 11th. We expect Meizu to release the phones in other markets such as Europe later in a few months' time, as they usually do. So this isn't a phone that we're ever going to see in the US. Is it a phone that we can even use in the US? Do any of you guys own a Meizu? I've really never heard of it until I started coming back to tech news and really keeping up to date. But to see a phone like this go for so cheap boggles my mind how some of these other phone manufacturers are selling their phones at so much more, at such a higher price, when these are giving you really, really high-end specs. That's the confusing part for me. That's the part that I'm just kind of blows my mind. Okay, let me go into chat here. Let me say hi to everyone. It's funny because Rohan was in here earlier, just kind of Rohan, I don't know if you're still in here, man. But I see Geekheim in here. Howdy, I'm working, so I'll be lurking. Geekheim, Adam, nice to see you, man. It's been a while. How you doing? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you here. I see Lavin in here too. Hello, people. Hey, Lavin, how's it going? Glad you could make it. And Lavin with the $2 super chat caught the stream. Just sending support. Lavin, thank you so much. Also, Lavin, thank you for being a member on my channel. If you guys don't know, and I'm gonna just kind of market it here real quick. If you guys don't know, if you see Lavin's name is in green and he has a red Chicago star next to his name, and that's a badge. And he gets that because he's a YouTube member of my channel. And here's my sales pitch, guys. If you guys are interested in being a member on my channel, you can click the join button. There should be a join button either next to my name, or if you can't find that join button, you can go. Sorry, I'm trying to pull it up here. youtube.com/PhoneJerome/join. And that way you can be a member of my channel. And being a member, it'll give you, it'll give you a badge next to your name. Your name will be green instead. And that badge will show up anytime you chat during the live stream, anytime you comment on any of my videos. And then you also get access to like specific emojis, like certain ones that I threw out there. Actually, I was able to add a new one yesterday. I don't have it right here, but I added a new Terminator one. I think that one came out okay. I haven't tested it, so somebody needs to test that out later. But yeah, and you could be a member for as little as 99 cents a month. It's just a different way of supporting me. So for anyone who's able to do that, I do appreciate that. For everybody else, I'm just glad to have you guys here and saying what's up and seeing what's going on. Otherwise, if you guys haven't already, real quick, feel free to like the video. Liking the video helps me in some kind of algorithmic way. Really what I'm trying to say is hopefully it helps other people find my stream. But I do appreciate everyone who has stopped by, even just like talking in chat, saying what's up. It's a good way to engage with the community. It's a good way to talk about tech and just discuss what's going on. So let me scroll down here too. I see mootstr. Happy Friday. Hey, mootstr, welcome to the stream. Haven't seen you in a bit. OnePlus refunded me $983 today. Just so funny because I was just talking about OnePlus 8 and the OnePlus 8 Pro, and then just talking about this Meizu phone and how much cheaper it is. I'm glad they refunded you $983. When the day that I would have even imagined that you would be paying OnePlus close to $1,000, that blows my mind. For the OnePlus 8 Pro with Wi-Fi issues, now thinking about Pixel 4 XL for $599. Actually, I did a video yesterday, mootstr. If you buy it from Best Buy, you can get a Pixel 4 XL right now for $550. That's the 64 gig internal version though. So I don't know if you're looking for that. If you want the 128, that's $650. But yeah, I mean, if 64 gigs is all you need, $550 from Best Buy is not a bad deal, but I think you have to activate a line that day. So I don't know. Oh shit, that's right. mootstr, I can't remember. Are you from the States? I forget. So I don't know if it's different for you. I keep forgetting who's from where, but let me know what you end up getting, man. Let me know. It looks like you're not going to be going for OnePlus anymore. So hopefully you find the right phone for you. Okay, let me scroll down here. I see Brian in here. What up, everyone? What up, Brian? How's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. And Brian with the $1 super chat. Brian, thank you so much. Thanks for the support. Thank you for your continuing streak of so many days in a row of super chats. Thank you again, man. Always appreciate the support. It means a lot to me. I see Ahmad here. Ahmad Awad. Is there a camera for Zoom? You're talking about the Meizu? The Meizu does have a telephoto lens, but hold on. I'm scrolling back up here. Actually, let me share this with you. Okay. No, the Pro does. The Pro has a telephoto. So you would have to get the telephoto version if that's what you're looking for. And I don't know if this is the phone you're asking about, but it looks like the Meizu 17 Pro is the only one with the telephoto lens on it. Anyway, hope that helps. Ahmad, I don't know if I've seen you on the stream before. So if I haven't, if I have, I'm sorry. But if I haven't, welcome to the stream. Appreciate you stopping by. Adam says here, I'm good. Just busy all the time, it seems. Me too, man. Me too. Keep grinding, my friend. You too, Adam. Glad to see you. Very, 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 very nice to see you, dude. Brian says here, busy grocery shopping. You know how it is in New York, panic buying by people. I hear you, man. Just stay safe in New York. It's crazy because I've been looking at the numbers in Illinois, and Illinois is now the number 4 state with the number of cases, and we're still rising. We're above California as far as cases, but New York just topples us. But just stay safe out there, man. Anyway, glad you could stop by the stream regardless. And mootstr, Jesus, man. With a $10 super chat, mootstr. Thank you so much. Thank you, dude. I will be sure to keep adding you onto the top. Dude, I think you're now one of the top 5 super chatters for all time. So, mootstr, thank you. Thank you for the $10 super chat. It means a lot to me. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Mootstr, fun fact, I used to live in Dallas for 3 years before I started YouTube, before I even started doing when I used to work in IT. My company that I worked for over a decade moved me to Dallas, and I lived in Irving. I lived in Las Colinas. I'm not sure. I'm sure you know where that is. Anyway, yeah, are you a native from Texas? Anyway, glad to see you, man. Thank you again for the support. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much. Why is saying OnePlus 8 series would have been way better if all of the versions were $100 less, in my opinion. Why 2019? That's what I've been saying. When they first priced it out, when they launched the OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro, I said, that's exactly what I said. This phone would have been better priced if it priced at $599 for the OnePlus 8 and for $799 for the OnePlus 8 Pro. It's still, for me, I still think it's pretty expensive, but I think that is a fair price, especially compared to the competition. I think that's a much fairer price than what they priced it at, because OnePlus, I've said this, OnePlus is going, they're not that flagship killer anymore. They're not. And it's sad to see, but the thing I'm excited about is the fact that this mid-range market is really starting to heat up now. When the mid-range being the $400 to $500 segment, I think this landscape in that price point is about to change. It's about to get competitive, and it's actually made me really excited about phones again, because man, spending $1,000 on a phone is just, it's so hard. It's so hard to pull $1,000 on a phone. Me spending $800 on my Pixel 4, I felt like I got ripped off. I really did. I felt like I spent way too much money. And now that I've seen it at $500, or the fact that at one point you could have bought a Pixel 4, there was a special deal at Costco where you could have gotten it for $300. That would have been a deal and a half if I could have gotten that. But I totally hear you. Oh shit. Tana with a $5 super chat. Tana, yo, what's up, man? I haven't seen you in a while. Bro, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support. What's up, my Chicago bro? Keep up the great work. Tana, thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thanks so much. Guys, thank you for all the super chats right now. I really appreciate it. Tana, again, thank you. That came out of left field. I didn't expect that, but I do appreciate you even just stopping by and saying what's up. That means a lot to me. Why 2019 here says Meizu 17 series is the new Poco F1. Actually, that's funny you say that, because that's exactly what I'm talking. Well, it's not what I'm talking about next, but I'm about to go over that after. So yeah, so the Meizu 17, I can't get that here though, right? It won't work here in the States, or at least the bands probably won't work here. I'm curious if any of the Meizu phone, I don't know. I have to start looking at other phones and seeing what else is available. Tana says, you're welcome, my dude. Again, thanks, Tana. Hope you're doing well, man. Glad to see you in here. So, all right, guys, let's move on. Let's talk about this next story. And actually, I found this interesting because this isn't a chipset I've heard of yet. And so this article from Android Authority is talking about Xiaomi's latest tease may have a leaked, unannounced Snapdragon 768G chip. So the one chip that I've been talking about is the Snapdragon 765. That Snap 765 is the one that you're finding now in the LG Velvet. That Snap 765 is the one that they're talking about that they're going to be putting into the upcoming Pixel 5, as well as other phones. Possibly the OnePlus Z is supposed to have the Snap 765, and everyone's going with the 765 series or the 765 chipset over the 865 chipset because of price, or at least that's what they say, so they won't mark us up too much. But the LG Velvet just released with the Snapdragon 765 pricing at $700, and it's kind of like, okay, well, no, that's so expensive for a 700 series chipset. Especially if you consider the fact that the Pixel 4a is going to be coming out with the Snapdragon 730 chipset for $400. It's just that $300 price differentiator is just, yeah, like the LG Velvet looks nice. It looks like a premium flagship phone, but like, again, it just doesn't sit well with me. I mean, it's hard for me to say because we don't know the exact performance specs and how well it's going to do, but I don't know. All right, so let's. I haven't read this yet, so we'll kind of read it together. Xiaomi took to social media to tease the Redmi K30 5G Speed Edition, which will be an upgraded version of the existing Redmi K30. In doing so, the company may have leaked an unannounced Qualcomm Snapdragon 768G chip. And usually they put that G at the end there as their gaming version. Apparently, it's supposed to do better graphics wise. I'm guessing the GPU is a little different on it, or the speed's a little different. I don't know for sure. At least I think that's how it works. Don't quote me on that. The phone was first teased on Chinese social network Weibo. It was hinted that the new Redmi K30 5G Speed Edition would launch at 2 p.m. China Standard on May 11th. When is that? Today's the 8th. Okay, so Monday? Yeah. In partnership with Chinese retailer JD.com, which would mean we should learn more about the new processor then. While we don't know much about the new processor, we do know that Snapdragon 768G is specifically listed twice by the Chinese retailer, meaning it's unlikely that it is a typo. First, the unannounced processor is shown in the upcoming phone's title, and then it's mentioned again in the detailed specifications. Presumably, if the Snap 768G does exist, it will be an upgraded version of the Snap 765G with improved performance. The original Redmi K30 is powered by the Snapdragon 765G. I didn't know that. The original Redmi K30? So wait, do any of you guys own a Redmi K30? The only reason I'm asking is because I don't know how well. I want to know how good a Snap 765 does, because if that's what's coming on the Pixel 5, I really want to see how well the performance is going to be. So it would make sense for an updated version of that phone to feature an improved processor. As pointed out by XDA, the Snap 865 is already used in the Redmi K30 Pro, and it makes sense that the company would want a mid-range processor that's a step down from that to go in this device. That would make the Snapdragon 768G a perfect option if it is what we think it is. Interesting. Yeah, I haven't heard about that. So I don't know. Who knows? Okay. Next story. This is from Android Police, and this story is talking about Poco. And Xiaomi spinoff Poco has an event next week to announce a long rumored F2 Pro, and then a more affordable M2 Pro might also be coming. So there's no secret as to how Poco's first phone, the F1, rose to immense popularity in a short period. It gave its users a taste of flagship class performance on a tight budget. The F1 hasn't seen a proper follow-up since it was launched about 2 years back, though, and all we got in the meantime was a mid-ranger. The Xiaomi sub-brand will likely change that come May 12, which is Tuesday, when Poco is expected to unveil a new high-end phone. Poco has been teasing the upcoming handset over the past week using the hashtag Poco is back. An official tweet from earlier today mentioned that the second generation of Poco is indeed coming. Following that, the company started sending out media invites for a virtual event scheduled for Tuesday. So I'll be watching that for sure, I think, depending on the time. So maybe not for sure. This is a global event, and unlike Poco's previous launches, the alleged F2 Pro could arrive in more markets outside India, particularly those in Europe. So is it not going to come in the US? Why aren't we getting the good cheap phones in the US? Although I've heard this Poco F2 Pro is going to be pretty pricey. So older leaks have suggested that the second Poco flagship could be a rebranded Redmi K30 Pro, considering the recent Poco X2 was nothing but a relabeled K30. This is why I get so confused, guys, because there's so many different ones, and like some brands are sub-brands of others, and it's like, how many did I go through already? Meizu today, Xiaomi, Poco, and I guess, yeah, I didn't know Redmi. And then there are things like Realme, Oppo, Vivo. I'm starting to lose count. And I don't even have access to these phones. That's what sucks. I don't have access to all of them to test out. These are phones that are priced at a better price for me that I can afford than some of the phones that are here in the States. The K30 Pro is fueled by a Snap 865 and is available with up to 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of storage. It has a 6.67-inch FHD Plus AMOLED screen without any camera cutouts, thanks to a pop-up selfie cam. Oh, I didn't know it has a pop-up. That's awesome. Along with a rear-facing quad cam array. In addition to those, you're also getting IP53 rating, an in-display fingerprint reader, and a headphone jack. Aside from this flagship, Poco might also take the wraps off a budget M2 Pro, since it was spotted on Xiaomi's India site. This one might remain exclusive to the Asian market. In the leaked document, the M2 Pro is accompanied by the Redmi Note 9 and the Mi 10, which is set to land in India at a separate event. Yeah, so I don't know. Maybe if it's going to be at a decent time, I could watch it. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll live stream it and kind of watch it live as I don't know how well that would do. Maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, I mean, I look forward to it. See how much it actually prices at. A lot of people, they always talked about the Poco F1, but yeah, I don't know. So Tana says here, not too bad for a mid-ranger. No, it isn't. But we'll see what prices some of these phones come at. So, okay. All right, moving on, guys. The next thing I want to talk about, and this is something that I've been bitching about for a while. This article from Ars Technica is talking about Google finally unifying their messaging apps. Maybe, possibly, probably. Don't hold your breath is the best way I can put it. The one thing that I have had an issue with from Google for a long, long time now is the fact that they have been dropping the ball when it comes to a lot of their, different software apps. Back in the day when Google Hangouts came out, I loved it. I use Google Hangouts all the time. I even integrated it with Google Voice so that I could use it as an SMS texter, right? So I would have Google Hangouts to talk to people who used Hangouts, but also talk to people who used SMS. And then all of a sudden, Google decided that it would stop supporting Hangouts altogether. And they haven't supported it for over half a year. And I think we were kind of joking about it not too long ago because they put an update for Hangouts like a month ago. And that update was just to remove something from Google Hangouts. And ever since then, I've moved away from Google Hangouts. And the only thing I've been using then was, or the only thing I've been using now is Telegram over Hangouts. Telegram has been one of the best messaging apps I've used in a long time. It does so much. It works so well. And I've been pretty happy with it. But yeah, now all of a sudden, Google is trying to do so. So here's the thing is that I've been talking about too. The fact that people have been talking about Google Duo and how good that's been as far as like video calling. And I'm like, that's great. But it's a separate app. Right? What happened to the texting part of it? And then there's like, well, there's Google Meet, but then that was like an enterprise version that you had to pay for. And I mean, I have access to it on my own because I use it, but like people have to be under my own domain and that doesn't work. And so, but now they're making it free because Zoom is doing so well. And then all of a sudden now there's this report that one person is going to control it all finally, which is something I've been talking about. There are too many hands in the cookie jar here. And maybe this is the first time we might actually see Google get something right, but don't hold your breath because I just don't believe it right now. I really don't. So Unity is coming to Google's messaging strategy again. A report from The Verge details a shakeup in Google's messaging leadership that will see Javier Soltero, the VP and GM of G Suite, take charge of all of Google's messaging apps in a single unified team. A Google statement says Soltero will be in charge of, quote, all of Google's collective communication products, which presumably means Google Hangouts, Google Meet, Google Chat, Google Messages, Google Duo, and Google Voice. This is the reason that you want to know why iMessage does so well, because it's one fucking app that does everything, and it's been around for a while and it gets updated frequently and it's pretty seamless. And you don't see that with Google. I remember when Hangouts came out, I was trying to get everyone to switch over, and I got a lot of people to switch over. And then Google Allo came out, and all these other ones came out, and I was like, why? And then when I finally said forget it, and I switched over to Telegram, and I tried to get friends to move over to Telegram, nobody wanted to move over anymore. They're like, well, Hangouts. And I'm like, yeah, but I can't even do dark mode in Hangouts. I can't even send video in Hangouts without making it look like it was shot on a potato. You know what I mean? It was just, there were so many garbage things that they could have improved on that they didn't. Yeah, I'm going off on a rant, and so let's just see here. Oddly, the report also lists Android phone app as one of Soltero's new responsibilities. Here's Google's full statement. We're bringing all of Google's collective communication products together under one leader and unified team that will be led by Javier Soltero, VP and GM of G Suite. Javier will remain in cloud, but will also join the leadership team under Hiroshi Lockheimer, SVP of platforms and ecosystems. Outside of this update, there are no other changes to the personnel, and Hiroshi will continue to play a significant role in our ongoing partnership efforts. Soltero only joined Google. I'm sorry, guys. I should make this bigger for you here. Soltero only joined Google in October of last year. Previously, he created the Acompli email app, which Microsoft acquired in 2014 and turned into the Outlook mobile app, blah, blah, blah. I just want to get into the meat of Google here. On one hand, the report says Google has, quote, no immediate plans to change or integrate any of Google's apps. This is also why I'm saying don't hold your breath. Really, don't hold your breath, because yeah, they might be unifying it, but when is it going to happen? When are they going to finally just get everything together? They talked about Hangouts getting shut down eventually, and everyone's going to be moved over to Google Meet or Google Chat or whatever they want to call it. But I haven't seen shit happen. I haven't seen anything happen. But when speaking of Google's consumer messaging apps, it also quotes Soltero as saying the plan continues to be to modernize all of that towards Google Meet and Google Chat. See, why? Why both? Why both? Which one are we getting, Google Meet or Google Chat? Hiroshi Lockheimer, who has a major role at Google as the SVP of Chrome and Android, is now Soltero's boss, spoke to The Verge about the transition too. It's not necessarily a bad thing that there are multiple communication applications if they're for a different purpose. And so while I have no argument with that, Google Meet, Google Chat, what are the two big differences there? Google Duo, Google Hangouts used to have everything: text, voice, video. It was a good platform that they could have just improved upon. And then Allo came out, and then Allo had new features on it. And I'm like, God, these features on Allo would be nice on Google Hangouts, but that never happened. And then where's Allo now? Nowhere. It's defunct. Like all Google messaging products and initiatives, an all-powerful head of messaging is a reboot of something. Yes, a reboot of something Google has done before. Around 2016, Google messaging was unified under Nick Fox, who for a time was VP of Communications Products, which covered Hangouts, Project Fi, and Google's web RTC efforts. The big move to happen under Fox's watch was the launch of Google Allo, which didn't unify anything and just added yet another messenger to Google's lineup. The one thing that bothered me about Allo is that it was stuck to one phone number. So I couldn't even, if I wanted to, I review phones. So I was at that time, I was switching from phone to phone. And then if I had multiple phone numbers, then I couldn't use Allo on a different one. It's just, I don't know. It really rubs me the wrong way. It does. And that's why I've stuck with Telegram. And I know people could be watching this, or if I cut a clip of this, and they'll just be like, well, then just stick with Telegram. What are you bitching about? The fact that Google had something and I didn't have to switch in the first place. If Google just got their shit together right the first time, then this wouldn't be an issue. Yeah, I could just leave it alone and just say, fuck Google, just stick with Telegram. But I've wanted Google to get something right. Please get it right. God, you can't even get the pixel right. We're not getting much concrete information from this announcement. This doesn't give me any confidence in what's happening. We're not getting much concrete information from this announcement about what the future of Google messaging holds. Aligning all of the messaging Aligning all of the messaging apps under the G Suite division does seem to line up with a rumor that claimed the G Suite team was planning a new unified communications app that would bring in functions from Gmail, Drive, Google Chat, and Google Meet, all with the purpose of fighting enterprise communication apps like Microsoft Teams and Slack. I actually want to read what these comments say. Took them long enough. At this point, Google can unify their messaging line in the same way Medusa can braid her hair. Might do, but it's going to take some real concentration, focus, and an unholy ability to wrangle some snakes. Considering all the flailing they've done in this space, even if they do create another unified communications app, will anyone trust them enough to use it? That is the thing. Will anyone trust them enough to use it? If Google put out a new app tomorrow and said, guys, we fixed Google Hangouts. There's no more Google Duo. There's no more Google Meet, Google Chat. This is just now whatever they want to call it, and it does everything. It's Slack and Discord and Telegram and WhatsApp, and it's all combined in one. It's Zoom. It's all of that all together. One app. It does everything. I would caution people to use it. I wouldn't recommend it right away. They would have to prove to me that they actually mean what they say, because look at how many things, and I've said this many times, it's not that Google hasn't done stuff right. It's not that Google hasn't done a lot of things right, because there's a good amount of things that they've done that has brought, innovation and everything to the forefront, but they're not solidifying any trust in the consumer. That's why, like, I'm very skeptical even when this new Pixel 5 that's supposed to come out. Like, I don't hold the same kind of optimism that I originally had every time a new Nexus phone came out, because I just don't know what to expect anymore. I paid $800 for a Pixel 4 that should have cost $500 max. That's the truth. People can argue with me like they did the first day when I said it was overpriced, but I stand by that statement. And I think now, months later, people agree with that statement. I want to see Google do some good, but ever since they changed to like a more corporate kind of, entity, like, to me, honestly, it just sounds like a big fuck you to the consumer. Like, you're just going to get what we give you. We're going to be another one of those guys. And I don't know, man, their bottom line now is $1, or their bottom line is the dollar. And I don't know. I look out for myself, but I look out for other people too. And, I want people to spend their money correctly and not get bamboozled by like these companies. That's why when I bitch about Verizon making specialty phones, exclusive phones, where they get to put like 8 Verizon logos on their phone and then charge $100 more so you can get millimeter wave that only works if you're standing right in front of it, like, there has to be somebody out here who's championing the tech community, because this is the shit that, like, it really gets under my skin. I don't know. Sorry, I was going off on that. Oh, Lavin with the $2 super chat. Lavin, thank you, man. Thank you so much. I'm still mad about Google Plus. Yeah, I remember. Man, I use Google Plus for a good amount, especially when the Nexus community was big then. This was before I even decided to do YouTube. I use that to show all my photography stuff. I would take a lot of pictures with my Nexus phones and be like, hey, check this out. This is what my Nexus phone can do, compared to iPhones or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that I'm mad with Google about, and I don't know. It's gonna take a while for me to kind of back down from that. Will says, Jerome, you paid $800, so what you have to do is not buy the next Pixel. Here's the problem, Will. I can say I'm not going to buy the next Pixel, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm probably going to buy the Pixel 5. I'm probably going to save my money. Whatever happens to me the months down this road, whether or not I end up getting a full-time job, or, somehow this works out and I can do this full-time or whatever. But, the way things are going right now, this isn't enough money to do as a full-time job. But, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The only thing that's going to stop me from not buying a Pixel 5 is whether or not I'm going to have the money for it. Use a Pixel 4 for the 3 years so you get your money out of it. I mean, that's really the smart thing to do. And I mean, I'll try to abide by that, but who knows, man. You are right though. That's the really the more logical approach to it. So we'll see. Okay. I feel like I bummed myself out. I feel like that rant just made me like it took the wind out of my sails. So let's all right, let's move on. It's Friday, guys, even though it doesn't feel like a Friday because I don't know what days feel like whatever anymore because we're stuck in quarantine. But this article from GSM Arena is talking about the Vivo IQOO Z1. God, this name of a phone is the first phone with a Dimensity 1000 Plus. Yesterday, I talked on the stream about how a Dimensity 1000 Plus got announced. Apparently an upgraded version of the Dimensity 1000. And the one thing I talked about on yesterday's stream was what phones have a Dimensity 1000. I don't even know. I have no idea. And I was like, when is a phone going to have this Dimensity 1000 Plus? But here we go. So yesterday we saw the arrival of Dimensity 1000 Plus chipset by MediaTek. It brings some improvements over the Dimensity 1000. Here's the thing. If you're not familiar with the Dimensity 1000, this chipset is apparently supposed to compete with the big boys. By the big boys, I'm saying Snapdragon 865, or at least it's supposed to be comparable to a Snapdragon 865 or an 855 Plus or something like that. It's supposed to have 5G, supposed to have higher end specs. But I don't know what goddamn phone this Dimensity 1000 chipset's in. It appears to be tailor-made for a gaming phone. During the announcement, Vivo's gaming branch revealed it's developing a phone with the new platform, and today we know the name. The Vivo IQOO Z1. Is it called the IQ? IQOO? No, I don't know. The information was shared on Weibo by a trustworthy leakster digital chat station. So far, we don't know much about the phone, only that it will have a 144 hertz refresh rate of the screen, as well as 5G connectivity provided by the MediaTek system on chipset. System on chipset, forget which one. SoC. The Dimensity 1000 Plus was launched yesterday. It's built on the 7 nanometer process, brings 4 Cortex A77 cores and 4 Cortex A55 units. Features include MediaTek 5G UltraSave that turn off the 5G antenna if there is no next-gen network available. Oh, that's cool. Improved MediaTek HyperEngine 2.0 and Mirror Vision for clearer HDR10 plus picture. So this is a phone I probably will never be able to get my hands on, but yesterday I asked, well, what goddamn phones have this MediaTek, Dimensity 1000? But apparently this one is going to have it, this whatever phone from Vivo. So, okay. Moving on. Will says Google updates the important part for 3 years. That's true. Now Jerome just made Google Pixel fans feel depressed. Not my intention. Not my intention. Vivo, sister company of Oppo and OnePlus. So Oppo, OnePlus, Vivo, anybody else under that brand? So if it's Vivo, Oppo, OnePlus, who's Meizu? Who's Realme? Xiaomi and Poco are the same, right? Xiaomi, Poco. Who's Realme? Who's I'm already forgetting. What about Meizu? There's so many goddamn ones. Xiaomi, whatever, blah. I need to just make myself a note list. And then just like have it in front of me so then I can like pretend I know all this shit and I don't. Oh, here we go. Let's talk about Google Pixels. I have 2 stories about Pixels and they're really nothing spectacular, but just kind of a recap. The Google Pixel 4a is coming, and there are 7 features that you probably won't get from the Pixel 4. And I read through these and I'm like, God, who makes these articles? Because this is such like if I had to write articles for a living and it was shit like this, I would, oh God. I mean, maybe this is for people who don't, I don't know, whatever. All right, let's just read through it because I feel like this might be a refresher. So the Google Pixel 4a, 7 features that you probably won't get from the Pixel 4. So the Google Pixel 4a is probably almost here, with leaks suggesting it will go on sale on May 22nd, meaning it might be announced a week earlier on May 15th. I'm actually a little excited about the Pixel 4a just because of the display. I think the display is going to look nicer than what the Pixel 4 has, but I know in my little tech chat, there's a little concern that the build quality is going to be meh. So thanks to various leaks and rumors, we have a good idea of what to expect from the Google Pixel 4a. But yeah, what I'm trying to say is it still looks really nice from the front. I don't know. As well as what not to expect, as this is more or less than just a cheaper take on the Pixel 4. That means some features of that phone are likely to be missing. Okay, so we're going to go through this quick because, again, this is stuff that I feel like us as tech people know. So the things that the Pixel 4a might most likely will not have is, one, a high-end chipset. You know, they're talking about putting a Snapdragon 730 in there. Two, a dual lens camera, right? It's just going to have one main shooter. Wireless charging, I think we all knew it's probably not going to have that. Although some were speculating it might, because the iPhone SE is, has wireless charging, but I still don't think it's going to come on the Pixel 4a. A 90 hertz screen, we knew that. A Soli chip, you're better off not having a Soli chip. An XL model, I mean, apparently the Pixel 4a is going to be a little bigger. It's supposed to be in between, I think, the size of a Pixel 3, or I think it's supposed to be in between the size of I forget now. But something between a Pixel 3a and a Pixel 3a XL or whatever, or maybe something between a Pixel 4 and a Pixel 4 XL. I don't know. Maybe this will say here. Let's see. Nah, it doesn't say exactly. But yeah, and then you won't get a big bezel. Okay, so a big bezel isn't really a feature, but this is one way in which the Google Pixel 4a could actually be better than the Pixel 4. It will be, at least in that department. It's going to look nicer on the front than what my Pixel 4 gives me. They should give it a more modern all-screen look, though its bottom bezel might be larger than the Pixel 4's. So yeah, I think this is a bunch of stuff we knew, but just thought I'd share. And then what I do want to discuss here is 5 things we want to see from the Google Pixel 5. Oh, hold on. Looking at chat. Let me go through chat real quick because I see. Okay, so MintArcade says they're all under BBK, a Chinese conglomerate. Realme is a spinoff of Oppo, now independent. I suspect Realme uses Oppo's parts. That's why they are in the value for money market. Okay, well, thanks for sharing. I need to make a list for myself. I see Sean in here too. What up, Jerome? What up, Sean? How's it going, man? Haven't seen you in a bit. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. While I say that, real quick, guys. Oops, shit. Sorry, I just hit my desk. Guys, if you're just coming to the stream, if you just stopped by, hey, feel free to like the video. Liking the video helps me in some algorithmic way. Pretty much what I'm saying is hopefully it makes other people find the stream. If you guys haven't subscribed already, please feel free to subscribe. I do stream Monday through Fridays, weekdays at around 12 p.m. Central. Really, now it's been closer to 1 p.m. Central, but around 12 to 1 p.m. Central. And if you guys are a little curious, if you're in chat and you see people with green names and like a red Chicago star next to their names, that means they're a member of my channel. And they get little perks. They get a red badge, a red Chicago star badge, but they also get to use certain emojis during chat and if they comment on any of my videos. And it's a membership. So the way the membership works is for as little as 99 cents. You get those perks, and then anything more than that, you get other features, like you get access to a private Discord at $5 a month and blah, blah, blah. And this is a weird marketing pitch, but it's what I do. You get custom emoji as well. I haven't updated this, but I did add a new Terminator emoji. And if you just click the join button, if you guys want to, and then if you can't find that join button, you can go to youtube.com/PhoneJerome/join, and I'll leave it at that. So moving on. Again, that's my little sales pitch, and I'm not the best at it, but I'm trying. It's just a way to support me, guys. And again, just even if you guys just come by to say what's up, and talk in chat or just even watch and like, I'm cool with that too. Just putting it out there for other people. So this article from Android Authority is talking about 5 things we want to see from the Google Pixel 5. And I might have my own opinions on this too. I haven't really read through this one, but let's go over it now. So 5 things we want from the Google Pixel 5. Google doesn't make phones like any other Android OEM, and the Pixel 5 is threatening to be the most unique and potentially divisive handset from the search giant to date. This is a really big statement that says really bold things, and I disagree. Most unique, I don't know. Potentially divisive, I don't know. Maybe more boring, maybe overpriced. Yeah, I have a really pessimistic view, but if you just came in and you didn't see me talk about Google's unification of messaging apps, then you missed out on me bitching about the Pixel. We're still some ways out from the expected Pixel 5 release, which will likely slot into the calendar in the series' usual October launch window. However, there are already rumors circulating that the Pixel 5 may not be the flagship phone you might be expecting to see. After the mixed bag that was the Google Pixel 4, there are plenty of areas the Pixel 5 could improve on the Pixel formula. With this and those fascinating rumors in mind, here are 5 things we want to see from the Google Pixel 5. 1. An ultra-wide angle camera. Yes, I agree. But there's something I'd like more than an ultra-wide angle camera. I'm willing to bet an ultra-wide angle camera is on every Pixel fan's wish list for the 5th generation phone. Google's decision to stick with a dual lens camera on the Pixel 4 when essentially every other OEM, even Apple, had shifted to a triple lens shooter was a massive head scratcher. After all, zoom is great, but when you're buying a flagship phone, you shouldn't have to choose in the first place. While we're talking cameras, can we also extend that zoom beyond just 2 times optical? Super res zoom is impressive, but if the Pixel 5 is going to compete with the best, we'd like to see the optical zoom stretch to at least 3 times. That's a fair enough point, right? I get that. So yes, there's a lot of people that want to see an ultra wide angle camera, and so do I. I do too. But what I want more than an ultra wide camera is for the Google Pixel 5 to kill it with its main shooter. Fix night mode, fix night sight. Because right now, night sight is a bit too much. It for a lot of the night sight pictures, they kind of oversaturate the colors. Sometimes they make the shots look more bright than they need to be, so it doesn't look as much of a night shot as it should. There are still issues with white balance on it. And if you're watching this and you're just like, well, that doesn't make sense. The Pixel 4 is amazing. Watch my Pixel 4 versus iPhone 11 Pro videos where I do photo comparisons at night, and you'll see that there is a difference there. So before I get any of this other extra bullshit, ultra wide, telephoto, whatever, fix the main shooter, fix the main shooter, fix the main shooter, fix the main shooter. Get that part right. It needs to be better than the iPhone 11 Pro. I don't want to go another year again saying that the iPhone 12 is better camera wise than the Pixel 5. I don't want to say that this year. I want the Pixel 5 to outperform the iPhone 12 Pro this year. Is it going to happen? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know what Google's doing anymore. I really don't, but I want them to, what I've said before, quality over quantity. I don't need 8 different camera lenses if they're all going to be shitty. I don't. I want one, give me one good ass camera, and I'll take that over an ultra wide camera shooter. I'll take that over a telephoto. Give me one good main shooter that will outperform every other camera phone that's out there. Simple as that. You guys can disagree. That's fine. But why? I don't have to expound on that. I feel like that statement speaks for itself. Okay. The next thing, 128 gigs of storage as standard. Yes, I completely agree with this. 100%, 110%. No more 64 gigs of storage minimum. It should be 128. The fact that Google has has the balls to charge $100 more for 128 gigs of storage is a shame. Like, that is a big shame. $50 should be the max of a price change on that. The fact that when the Pixel 4 came out at $800 for 64 gigs of internal storage, and then and then $900 for 128, like, get the fuck out of here. $100 difference, like, that's bullshit. That's not acceptable. It isn't. And they still haven't changed it. So right now you can get a Pixel 4 for $500, which is what the price should have been in the first place. But the 128 gig version is $600 still. Like, why? Just, I feel like I bitch about the same stuff, but I can't get over it. Google needs to get their shit straight. At the last count, Google managed to snag the dubious honor of being the worst OEM. I love that. When it comes to price gouging over smartphone storage. While we'd also like to see the price difference between configurations reduced from the current $100 hike, the core issue is that 64 gig base model. Just get rid of it. 128 gigs is the standard storage capacity for basically every Android flagship, and the Pixel 5 should be no different. 64 isn't enough. 256 gigs is potentially overkill if you use cloud storage. 128 gig is just right. Totally agree. 100% agree. I mean, even Apple isn't doing that right now with their iPhone SE. Their iPhone SE with 64 gigs of storage is $399. 128 gigs of storage is $449. $50 difference. I don't know. Are they just taking a page off of Apple's book and then who runs this shit? Who really does? Better battery life. I think we all know this. God, I'm so like, it's so hard because I just want Google to do well again. You might be thinking this should say a bigger battery, but having a large cell packed into a phone doesn't tell the whole story. That's a really good point. Unfortunately, while many OEMs are pushing their custom hardware and software to achieve greater power efficiency and reduce battery drain, Google has been more interested in expanding its phone's features with AI smarts. Feature sets with AI smarts. That's a noble goal and one I'd like to see continue, but not at the cost of atrocious battery life like the vanilla Pixel 4. Thankfully, there are positive signs. Android 11, which the Pixel 5 will almost definitely run out of the box, is rumored to feature an ultra low power mode for eking out extra juice when your battery is about to die. Hopefully that's just the start, and Google will fine-tune its hardware and software package to give us a phone that doesn't hit zero well before bedtime. And hey, if that means we need a bigger battery too, then that's just fine too. I mean, I agree with everything there. I've agreed with all of these now. They all make sense. Motion sense, but better this time. I'm not sold on motion sense yet. I understand that it could be better and they could make it better and have better features, but it really has to be something that separates itself where it's like, okay, go ahead and give us that big bezel. I'll take that big bezel, but with Soli, but Soli has to actually be worth it this time. I really wanted to like motion sense. It's the kind of quirky extra feature that makes phones fun and not just another bland handset that doesn't take any risks. There was just one problem. It kind of didn't work. Google has improved things with software updates, but the Soli tech in the Pixel 4 is still woefully underused, and many of the gestures are awkward and often don't register. Actually, I have a question for you guys in chat. So I have a Pixel 4. Where the fuck is my where's my Nexus 6P is here. My Pixel 4 is right here. I've turned off motion sense for a long time. I haven't used it in a while. One of the things I loved about my Moto X Pure was the fact that, let's say I was running whatever, I was walking in my apartment and I needed to check the time or check to see if I had any notifications on my always on display. And I would just wave my hand over the phone, right? I didn't have to double tap my phone or whatever. I just waved my hand over it. It would show me the time and it would show me like little notifications, little icons. Does motion sense do that? Is that a feature that they added, or is that something I still can't do? So again, the way what I'm asking is, let's say my let's say my Pixel 4 was laying down on my table and there was no, this display wasn't on. Let's say it was a black display. If I just waved my hand over it, does motion sense pick that up and would it show me the time? Or is that something it doesn't do yet? Or am I crazy and nobody understands what I'm asking? I hope I asked that properly. I guess I could just try it myself, but I'm just asking chat because I'm talking to you guys here. Okay. So instead of scrapping it, however, it'd be great to see Google double down on motion sense and make it an essential part of the Pixel experience like we've seen with Edge Sense. More gestures, improved accuracy, and greater app compatibility would all make for solely this is such a dad joke. It would make for a solid upgrades. Okay. Finally, something special to balance out that mid-range processor. So yeah, again, guys, we're not getting the Snapdragon 865. It's going to come with a Snapdragon 765. And why they would do this instead of just giving it like a Snapdragon 855 Plus is because they want to give us 5G, which, how many times can I say this? 5G is still not the best thing out there. In a lot of cases, it still doesn't outperform 4G LTE, and maybe 5G will get better, but it's not ready yet. Will it get better by the end of this year? I don't think so. I don't even think we're close yet. I still think we have at least another year to go. I could be wrong. I would love to be wrong so that, you know, I could tell people, yeah, 5G is worth it now, but right now it's still not worth it. And Google's deciding to go with a 765 chipset because they want to give you 5G. They don't want to spend the money on the 865, and they don't want to use an 855 Plus, which probably has better performance than the 765. I'm just being straight up with you guys. Here it is, the elephant in the room. The Pixel 5 will reportedly run on a 765G chipset as opposed to the Snap 865 that powers the vast majority of Android flagships in 2020. We already have an article discussing the merits of Google opting for a mid-range SoC instead of Qualcomm's top-tier silicon, as well as some of the potential reasoning. TLDR, it's much cheaper. It's also worth noting that both chipsets are 5G enabled, so that's not an issue. Would a mid-range SoC be a deal breaker for the Pixel 5? My answer to this is no. A mid-range SoC would not be a deal breaker for the Pixel 5 if its camera outperformed the iPhone 12, the upcoming iPhone 12 Pro, if it outperformed night mode on the iPhone 11 Pro, and if it priced itself under $500. That is when this Pixel 5 could actually be a thing. But like I have Will tell me all the time in goddamn chat, it's not ever going to sell for $500. And as much as I want to disagree, he might be right. They might still upcharge for that, and I'm going to be left bitching about Google again. The harsh reality is that a Pixel 5 with a 765G processor won't have the raw power to match its rivals. However, that may not be a problem if Google has something extra up its sleeve. The Pixel 4 series already has a Pixel Neural Core, which enables features like Night Sight, the new Google Assistant, the Recorder app, as well as boosting its image capabilities to push its camera. The Pixel series' key selling point beyond its hardware limitations with computational photography. Again, its camera is great, but it's still not better than the iPhone 11 Pro. It lost that crown in 2019, and it needs to take that crown back. You want me to recommend the Pixel to people, then it has to have the better camera. The Snapdragon 765G is already a more than capable chipset than that near enough matches the Snap 855 already found in the Pixel 4, albeit with an inferior GPU. So it's still, if it's if it's more than capable, if it's close to an 855, but it has an inferior GPU, why give us that? because it has 5G. Fuck you. I don't need 5G. None of us need 5G yet. You know, give us the 855 that probably comes at a discount that could price the Pixel 5 at probably an even cheaper price. Why? Why not just do that instead? By improving the Pixel neural core, Google could close the gap with Qualcomm's best in terms of AI performance, while also still being cheaper to build and more power efficient overall. If a more affordable Pixel 5 can close the AI gap while also delivering killer battery life and a bunch of exciting, unique software features, would you really care if it wasn't winning any benchmark races? I mean, that's a good point. I don't care about benchmark races. I don't game on my phone. I'm not using this phone to, like, you know, hook up a controller, play, you know, whatever FPS is going on, because I have a goddamn PC for that. I'm not editing video on it because I have a goddamn PC for that. I use my phone to take pictures, to surf the web, to lay in bed and watch YouTube videos, and, you know, the basics. So I don't need something that's going to like fly off the shelves in terms of benchmarks, but it still has to give me a clean experience with no lag. If a 765 can do that, that's fine. Just don't get the 765 so that you can charge us more because it has 5G. That's what's going to really like get me to just go off on Google again. This is probably why Google stopped giving me free Pixels. Because even when they gave me the Pixel 3, I just bitched about it. Sorry. God, man, this is I'm kind of okay. Chat. Okay, so let's see here. Really interested to know who's behind the wheel for making the Pixel. I don't know. Does Google even offer free Google Drive storage for Pixel owners? No, I don't think so. They give you free, unlimited, high quality images, but you can't do the originals anymore. The one thing I loved about the Pixel was the fact that I had a free, unlimited original storage, and they took that shit away from me. Yeah, I don't know. Will says, hopefully they will bring storage increases to $50 like Apple did with the iPhone 11. I hope so. Yeah, well, they want you to buy Google One storage. I'm one of those guys. I pay for Google One storage. Sean says, I agree with you. With the main rear camera, the minimum storage should be 256. I mean, I'm not going to complain if that was the minimum storage they want to give us, but yeah, that rear camera, they gotta outperform Apple. They have to outperform Apple. MintArcade says, other than face unlock, I don't think so. So I can't just wave my hand over it so that it shows me the time. I mean, I can't even get that. Moto did that, what, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? When the hell did Moto enable that feature in there? And I can't even get that with Soli. Doesn't it have some kind of awareness feature like that? I don't know, man. I don't know. Because I turned it off because it was killing my fucking battery. Oh my God. From what I can see, my Pixel 4 XL with motion sense on it just knows when I come near my phone and lights up the always on display and turns on the alarm volume when I reach for it. Okay, you know what? I'll turn that on and test it out myself, Lavin, to see. I feel like as a tech reviewer, I should know this shit, but I turned it off because I did not use it at all. But if I could use it just to wave my hand to see like the time or whatever instead of picking my phone up, I'd love that. Brian says there are Snapdragon 855s with 5G. Is it because they're using a separate modem in it? That would still drive up the cost though, right? And I think when you do that, when you use a separate modem on it, I don't think it's as efficient as something with an integrated modem. But I mean, at that point, I still don't care, right? Like, just give me an 855 plus. Like, why can't the Pixel 5 have an 855 plus with like a 4G LTE thing, and then give us 5G for the Pixel 6? I don't. Again, who's complaining right now about the iPhone SE not having 5G? Nobody's complaining about it. If you are complaining about it, I don't know. I don't know what you want me to like. I don't know. Let me scroll down. MintArcade says Google ships a motion sensor on the Pixel 4 without much of a plan. of what to do with it in the future. I doubt Android 11 has features for motion sense. You're probably right. Google doesn't even tell you what chipset is in the phone. Ronaldo De Leon. Hey, Ronaldo, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. LOL, real talk for sure, man. Always. I try to bring that shit out. I only have one game on my phone. That's it. So do I. I have Scrabble on there, and I still don't like playing that game anymore because it's pay to play or pay to win, and I hate pay to win shit. Maybe Google gave up when they can't brag about DxO Mark anymore. Is it because they're not paying DxO Mark enough? I'm kidding. Google can eat a dick now that they took the free storage away from Pixel owners. Ronaldo says Google needs to have Samsung come back and make them a phone. Yes, I would love to see that and just see if the sales go up. But they're not going to do that, man. They're not going to do that. Samsung wants to do their own shit. Google, I don't know what Google's doing. I don't know what goes through their head, but whatever. But yeah, that would be great to see them do that. Y 2019 says, hopefully if the 768G is real, that's the one the Pixel 5 gets. I mean, why not, right? If you're going to give us a 760, if you're going to give us a 700 chipset, give us the 768 then. Give us the better one than the 765. Instead of the 765G, since the Pixel 4 and 4a has had outdated processors. I agree. Though at 865 with the same prices and 128 and 256 being the storage would be awesome, but we know that's not going to happen. Why? We know that shit's not going to happen. LOL, Jerome, we will still buy the next Pixel because we want an Android iPhone. As much as I hate to say it, Will is right. He is 100% correct. Google needs to partner up with Huawei again. I would love that. That's the reason I have my Nexus 6P. It was still one of my favorite phones, even though I know it boot looped for a lot of people. MintArcade says fat chance. Probably right. Yeah, I mean, what else, man? That's God, I ranted for a while, guys. Whatever, it's fine. It is what it is. All right, guys. Okay, so final thing here. Actually, let me just put it this way, guys. We're way past the hour here, but real quick before I kind of shut things down, I want to thank everybody for dropping by. I want to thank everybody for saying what's up, engaging in the chat, talking in the chat. Having this community means a lot to me. Just having you guys talk and say what's up and see what's going on and bitch about phones, it means a lot. But I do want to bring this up again one last time. Guys, I do have a membership now for my channel. If you see people in the chat with green in their names and a red Chicago badge next to their names, that's because they're a member of this channel. And a lot of them are just doing it for 99 cents a month. They get that badge, but they also get to use a different emoji, like special emoji that I get to add in there. And you could do it as cheap as 99 cents a month. It supports me, but there are other tiers as well that gives you private access to my Discord, or you get to see higher production videos put out earlier, or you get to see them earlier before anyone else. Anyway, you can click the join button to do that, or you can just go to youtube.com/PhoneJerome/join. Again, it's just a way to support me. You know, you guys obviously don't have to do that. It's just something that I want to share. And then I think that's it, guys. I think that's all I got for today. You know, I am going to come back on Monday, and we're going to do it all over again. Also, I forget to, you know, for anyone that does become a member, you get your name on the intros and outros of all my live streams. That's something I keep forgetting to say there. And then this intro and outro this time, guys, I forgot to add the pictures. So, but everyone's names are here, so it's all right. And I think that's it, guys. I do appreciate everyone for stopping by, for saying what's up. Come look for me again on Monday. I'll be back at 12 p.m. Central. Actually, I am streaming tonight with Will, who's in this chat. And I'm also streaming with Mobile Geezer and Mike, Simply Your Device. And I don't know whose channel they're doing it on. I'm sure Will share that. We're all going to do Friday Night Tech Talk, so feel free. We're going to be doing that tonight at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. I believe that's the time. And you can catch me there. And you can hear me bitch some more, because that's probably what I'll do. But yeah, I'll leave it at that, guys. come back though Monday. Let's talk again. Let's go over some new news. Let's talk about shit and let's bitch again if we have to. So I'll leave it there. Here comes the outro. Sorry there are no pictures this time. I usually have that in there, but I forgot because I was editing real quick. And I love you guys. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Take it easy.